Before we start this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast, go to the Etsy store, inspireddisorder.com/Etsy. Buy all of my shit, prints, t-shirts, 40 sacks, all kinds of stuff. Save 10% on whatever you purchase using coupon code INSPIRED.
He'll even take a shit in one of the 40 sacks if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you really love Billy Madison and want to recreate it with one of my 40 sacks, I could do that for you. Go to inspireddisorder.com/Etsy. Save 10%. Coupon code INSPIRED. Also, get some free 30-day shipping with Amazon Prime. 30 days of free Amazon Prime. Shipping is 2 days. Man, this is going to be an interesting episode. Inspireddisorder.com/Prime. 30 days free of Amazon Prime. So all their free shipping, movies, TV shows, books, audiobooks, music, all kinds of shit. inspireddisorder.com/Prime for 30 days free of Amazon Prime. If you already have Prime service, use our Amazon link, inspireddisorder.com/Amazon. And now we will start the show.
This is starting. I think we're starting.
We're starting.
That's how it starts.
Push it with your dick, dude.
It worked!
I am Ray Taylor.
I clearly don't have a regular job.
I was never really into comic books growing up. Like, I was a geek.
Well, you should tell your face that, because you look exactly like
I do.
Watch the fights.
Fuck yeah, I watch the fights.
I'm Keith Spurlock.
I watch every kind of pornography.
I said,
all right, to counteract my cancer that I'm giving myself, I smoke weed after every cigarette.
What were we just fucking talking about?
And this is the Inspired Disorder podcast.
I'm not going to allow you to have an opinion on this just because you're wrong.
Is anyone else's podcast about like jerking off and UFC?
What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode. Dido. Yeah,
Something like that.
something like that. So we're back doing another episode. Completely forgot to adjust the table correctly.
Or anything.
So unprepared. I have no idea what's going on. But we're doing a show, so that's what's going on. If you had to boil it down to technically
what is going on right now?
We almost had a B&E.
Yeah.
Almost had a home invasion.
Polite
home invasion
That was
where
a
they
very
tried to use
polite
the
home
key.
invasion where they tried to open the door, then tried to use the key, and to which I think that once they realized wrong place, that
My key's not working.
that they kind of freaked out, because I kind of got to the door pretty fast, and I looked at the people and no one in sight.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Then I heard
wonder,
footsteps upstairs.
How do you
And
get
I think
the floor
that
wrong?
maybe I mean
seriously,
you can be fucked up.
There's I could see that. But there's a stair difference.
Yes.
I can understand almost going, cuz the door where you come in is like a split level. So you're either going up or you're going down, but it's like a half stairway. And then you just start going to the next floors. You have to turn corners
Yeah.
to go to the other floors. So
I
it's
agree.
How do you it's interesting. It's interesting. But yes, I could see
Maybe
being intoxicated.
They elevated it and hit the wrong button.
That could be it too. That's so weird.
But I've never taken the elevator in this building.
That's ridiculous. Still, wouldn't you notice the difference between?
Again, if you're fucked up,
I know, that's true. But yeah, the elevator would.
the
make more
hallways
sense.
all look the same.
Yeah, and I don't know
Besides
if
the basement.
except for every number is different.
Who looks at the numbers? I just know where I'm at.
I don't know.
Especially if you have a key.
I have not gone to the wrong apartment.
Especially never. I have not either.
I don't know the feeling of not noticing. I don't know if it's just because I know where I live. Maybe they are new here,
That
too.
was so funny, though. Just
we're right about to start.
Yeah.
Just
And then I hear the door handle just, and I'm thinking.
My first thought is, I hope it's locked.
Yeah, exactly. That was
I
my.
won't have to
I'm
deal
like,
with this
shit. And
What if they leave the door open and then Izzy goes crazy? Although she just tried to attack them. Yeah, and then the key.
And then the key, and I'm like, well, all right, is
that better
the
not
apartment
work.
manager trying to break in?
That key better not work.
Oh, I'd have been mad.
Yeah, there's no reason. Unless it is the apartment manager, in which case, still don't open the fucking door.
I'm still mad.
You can't just come into my apartment whenever you want. You got my number, bro. yeah, I wonder who it was. I don't really care.
I heard
actually.
footsteps upstairs right after that, so I'm assuming upstairs, even though I don't know who that is. Besides, they're really loud.
Yeah, they're gonna vacuum at it's like industrial vacuum.
Yeah, it's a shop vac, and they only get home at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning every night.
There was the worst. The worst is somebody having a loud party and then you can't go to sleep because it's a loud fucking party. It sounds like you're having a party in your apartment.
I could literally hear voices from there one time, and you can't. I mean, you can hear footsteps, but I was like, voices?
Yeah, there's
no vents.
A couple weeks ago, there was it was just the faint beat, like somebody left a stereo on, and it was something with bass. So I'm just hearing this repetitive sound, constant, and there's and it's bass, so it's you can't really tell where it's coming from, but where my room is, it's two options. It's not coming from any other options. No. Unless it's outside, which would be really interesting how that would. But it was just the most, I could not go to sleep. It was so, and then the next morning, by sunrise, I could still hear it. The next day, could still hear it.
But was it the same repetitive?
Mm-hmm.
So
and it was
that
during the day it's better because I could turn shit on. I mean, it wasn't loud. It was it was loud enough to where at night there's the traffic noise wasn't enough, and it was probably colder, so my window was closed. There was just it was just this annoying fucking audible water torture.
That's why when I heard the beep yesterday at the smoke detector, I got that shit right away because I knew that would drive me fucking insane.
I heard it before, but I was in the bathroom.
That was the first beep I heard.
And I think I heard it maybe a day or two before. And I was in the bathroom, and it's there's no smoke detector in the bathroom, so I'm what the fuck is in the ceiling? Because the ceiling looks like it's got some dead bodies. And I only heard it once, so I was what the fuck? But that's, it was right outside the door, so it just sounded. But it seriously sounded like it was. I was just about to hop in the shower, so probably nude and vulnerable, and I heard it. And that sound, I've heard enough smoke detectors die. Usually it's more frequent. Hearing it, especially
it
since
did it twice.
I'm here all day. It's not like I go to a day job where I'm not here for 8 hours or whatever. I heard it. That was probably the second time I heard it.
Well, I mean, when I heard it, it did it again so I could pinpoint it. I checked them all, but it did do it again. That's why I go, it's this one. And I fucking took it off. But this is a good one, people. We have 3 smoke detectors in this apartment, and they are literally all 4 feet away from each other.
Yeah,
but in a triangle.
It's the small hallway that leads to the 2 bedrooms. So each bedroom has them by the doorway.
But they're right by the door, and then they're on the hallway one. When you open the door, there's one right there.
If that hallway one's going off, I'm gonna hear it. Although I guess if there's a fire in the bedroom, you want to be able to hear it out here.
It's
so whatever. Close. It's probably some regulation
so close to each other.
Some kind of regulation that somebody studied, and it helps keep people safe, so they have to put them in certain places.
I would at least want one in the hallway to tell me.
I'm sure I'm sure there's a building wide one because they have sprinklers out there and everything.
I've never really looked up.
I mean,
are you
may
just
not be working,
there's
but they may not work.
Have you seen? I don't even know that there are. I really haven't looked.
They got stuff in the ceilings. It seems like it. I don't know.
This building's old as shit. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. You still have to. Well, for now, there's still some regulations to things that are done to keep people safe.
We're getting rid of all those.
Oh no, kids are going to start working again. Minimum wage is going to go down to $5.
The what minimum wage? Did they just take it away?
Oh, they're going to take They're going to take a lot of things away. But I don't want to talk about. I really don't. want to talk about any of that. We'll save the orange for our Fight Talk episodes. and it's a different kind of orange. It's this kind of orange. It's a safety cone orange.
Aren't you glad we're not talking about it?
Yeah. But yeah, so at least the breaking and entering didn't actually happen, and it happened. Usually, it seems like maybe that happens all the times we do the podcast, because there's a lot of times where it's like she'll just freak out, like somebody's at the door, and then it's like, what? What did
I didn't hear nothing.
I can't. Yeah. It's like, shut up, dog. I can't hear what's going on now. Somebody at the door. Yeah. So I don't know. We just they came home early from the bar from happy hour. Because it's Wednesday. Tuesday? What day is it? It's a weekday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah. That's like, like 5. It's an interesting time, like for us, that's different to be like drinking or whatever, but to not be that wasted where you'd go to the wrong.
It seems odd.
Could be a home. No, because there was a key. They did have a key. So they lived, hopefully, in this building. There's a lot of apartment buildings, so they could live in another apartment building. That's next level.
That's next level fucked up.
I could see that. I could see that probably in my 20s if I lived in this area and was walking home from Colfax or whatever, and I accidentally walk into the wrong.
I had a few friends that got really drunk, and one of my friends got arrested because he thought he was going to his friend's house, and it was this old lady, and she called the cops, and he was super drunk, and like...
Well, that was
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he did that.
So
like slept in a kid's bed.
He was in a kid's bed.
Yeah. Fucking who knows what... He was doing a lot of shit back then. But, yeah, I've always made it home to the... I remember trying to take somebody home that didn't know where they lived, and we, like... accidentally knocked on the wrong door at least once. So it's like 2 a.m. Some fucking asshole kids are knocking on the door, like literally holding him up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any idea where he lives. And the chick he's with hasn't been with him long enough to know where he lives.
I found
luckily I think either the second or the third house or apartment we found it.
I found one of my friends
that was Texas.
Yeah.
We probably would have been shot.
Yeah, probably. A lot of other places too.
Yeah.
But I found one of my friends so fucking drunk or on whatever that like I think I broke into someone's house with him because I knew whose house it was.
Right.
And I knocked on the door and they didn't answer and the door was unlocked and he's like falling down and I'm like, I know that he knows that like he dated their daughter for a while, but I didn't think they were dating at the time. But he was just, again, like he's gonna get arrested or I'm gonna fucking put him somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I opened the door and she's like, oh my god, and I'm like, I found Heath outside. He's not in good shape.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to come here.
Bye.
Bye.
You're it.
Yeah. Tag. I had just handed him off.
Yeah, that's what we should have done. Just taking him back to the party. It's like, fucking sleep it off and remember where you live tomorrow.
It would have been hilarious. You just, like, answered the door wearing a mask. Maybe had a knife or something. Like one of us.
We did?
Yeah, like as he was trying to, like, just open the door and be like.
Like, if you really want to get shot, yeah, that's a great way to do it. Show up like it, fucking The Purge is a real thing. Hey, what's up, guys? We're here to purge you.
No, I'm saying us answer the door to them dressed like that. Like, they're trying to come into the wrong apartment and...
Yeah. Well, but then we may have to deal with a heart attack. Maybe it's an old
Just
person.
close the door.
No, but they fall in. You gotta scoot them.
Wolf scoot.
Maybe like Nico. There's a large insect right outside of our door that you need to send to pest control to come pick up. Pronto. It's
now here's my other
weird.
hope. I hope that like that wasn't like the key actually does work, but then they heard us and decided right now might not be the most opportune time to try to break in.
Yeah, we'll wait till they start recording, and then
They're like, we got the internet. This isn't live though.
No, it might go live again. Probably YouTube. I did a little survey on Twitter. YouTube seems to be the predominant. The only reason I stopped, well, aside from having a bunch of tech issues doing it,
got a little glitchy.
And our internet's sometimes is Wi-Fi in an apartment can sometimes fluctuate. But the other reason is because we record these when we record these, and then they're released on Mondays and Thursdays.
Yes.
So, like, I could do it, but then it's like, okay, you can catch it live, even like randomly when we're able to record. So good luck with that, and then it's gonna disappear until it gets released. So I don't know. It's like more work.
Yeah.
Then I have to like take care of that. But that's what I was thinking. I was thinking either doing maybe like Instagram or these other smaller services that have live feature, and then I can just do like a little fisheye lens on my phone, and it'll just be a lower end version of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like trying not to make this overly complicated. So it's good right now.
Yeah, it works.
But yeah, so they can't find out if we're live. But you know, whatever. They just listen. They know. They know. They can see the lights under the door. It's like, oh, it got brighter.
It's already weird enough that like people come into the apartment to spray for shit today.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, it's the second time they've come through. It's been a few months, but this one seemed more of a legit spray. Not like
ish. I didn't see anything actually come out of that wand.
Oh, I did, and I saw it on the ground and everything. But they also had like little injection sealer things, like probably little poison injection things, and some other fucking probably.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't guessed, we don't necessarily live in the highest end apartments. We got roaches, people.
Yeah, but if you want us to move to a higher end apartment, go to our Patreon page.
No shit.
And donate.
But no, we don't have roaches, but there are roaches in the building.
I've lived in way worser places.
I remember houses I've lived in.
Oh yeah, but like because with apartments, you're in the same building,
controlled environment. You're not going to other.
You can set off every raid bomb that's sold in your county in your apartment, and you're not going to do a fucking thing. Because everything will just run to another apartment.
They just go in the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, this is, every once in a while there'll be like a bug, but it's not like
I've killed
an
like
infestation.
3 or 4.
Yeah, but over like the past couple months. Seems like a couple months that it's been, I started noticing. But it's not like, I remember my last apartment I lived in the desert, we cockroaches got bad. Like, you would just open cupboards, you would go into the kitchen, and you would just see a lot, just like 20 just scurrying away, just like, oh, everything's moving. That, and I remember, and big ones, like the kind they eat on Fear Factor. I remember watching in the living room.
I've seen here,
they're tiny as fuck. Yeah,
not that big.
And they seem like they're almost dead anyway. They have very little energy for cockroaches.
Yeah, like they don't even really scurry away. No. They're just like walking by. They're like, what up?
Yeah, those are the ones that...
They're stoned. It's Denver. I feel like they're just stoned cockroaches. They're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like,
all of our weed smoking is keeping us.
I'm like, here's my shoe. Let me whack.
Yeah.
And he didn't even try to run. Like, the light's on. He's just out. He's like, what's up?
Yeah. I
don't even care.
So I was watching a movie, dark, laying down on the couch in the living room, and then just I see, out of the corner of my eye, I see something. I look up, and it's just a giant cockroach, just strolling across the ceiling. I'm like, oh. But I think at that time, it really happened right around the time I was planning on moving to San Diego. So I was like, well, I just don't need to deal with this for a while. And my friend stayed there for, I don't know, a couple years later. But I don't know if they ever fixed it, but it was bad. And ants. And then when I moved to San Diego, the apartment I had, fucking you want to talk about an ant problem? Like we had typical shaggier carpet.
Yeah.
But you would just be like, they would just come from under the carpet in no order. These ants were anarchy ants. There was no lines ever. They were just they were
all
massed.
lone soldiers.
But you would just be randomly sitting on the ground, watching TV or whatever, and it would just be like, you would start noticing ants on you, and then you'd look around, and it's just like coming out of the, like as if it was before I ever did drugs. It would be like as if explaining it to somebody. Where I'm like
who does
on
meth and
for
they're
a
like,
week.
the ants are all over me.
But it was ridiculous. You couldn't have anytime anything was on the counter, they would just swarm. Just anything. My clothes, because that's when I worked in the pizza kitchen.
Yeah.
So I would get dough and cheese on my shoes and fucking just, remnants of shit. So they would eat my clothes. Like I would have holes in my clothes because, and like you work in a kitchen, like you're doing dishes, they get dirty. I mean, and you have like a uniform shirt. You only get like one or two of those. So shit builds up. After a while.
Let's just bring that up. What the fuck businesses?
That's
2 shirts.
Yeah, don't worry about that. They're gonna make you buy them.
Work in
now.
a kitchen.
That's probably a regulation where you can't force employees to pay for. Now you're gonna have to now.
I tell you,
if you want to be a fireman,
I found a loophole, and it's not a fun one, but I spilled shit all over my shirt one day, and it was early at work, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna wear this.
Yeah,
give me a shirt.
Yeah,
and they give me a shirt, and then I just washed the shirt.
They have more shirts.
There's a lot of shirts,
but there's
so
businesses don't want to spend money. They want to make money. Don't give a
Those
fuck
shirts
about
probably cost $2 a piece for the rate, or $1 a piece for the rate that they're buying them at.
Yeah, it costs nothing because they get them in bulk. It's a company-wide fucking uniform. It's a company-wide
surprisingly
uniform.
For a T-shirt.
Yeah,
super comfortable quality.
God damn it! Oh, so yeah, the ants would fucking. I'd have to like put my clothes on a chair, and that was enough of a buffer. Like from the carpet, and we were a second floor apartment. It wasn't ground floor apartment, so these ants were coming up from the car. It was horrible. It was, and there's nothing you could do. And it was different parts. Like during the summer, it was really bad. During the winter, like they go probably hibernate or whatever. I mean, even in San Diego, it doesn't get that cold, but it was enough to where the problem was primarily when it got warm.
Yeah,
and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So, and then since then, I haven't really had any issues. Growing up, snakes and scorpions and black widows all the time.
Lizards.
Lizards don't do shit.
Yeah, but they're annoying and
they're whatever. I mean, there was tons of lizards too growing. It was a desert, but it was the snakes and the black widows and the scorpions.
Those little fucking geckos just fucking.
I would always just try and catch them,
and then their tail falls off.
Well, yeah, any lizard can. I remember there was a lizard that was like caught in a wall, and like half of it was sticking out of like the exterior wall.
Yeah,
and like the next day it was just skeleton and ants like kind of carrying off the remaining. It was crazy looking. But I didn't really give a shit about lizards. They're not going to do anything to me.
Can't. You ever let them bite you?
I mean, yes, yeah.
They don't have any like.
No.
It's
almost like fish.
Yeah,
but even less strength.
Well, I mean,
some fish have some gnarly nubs on them, but
catfish, like they have a pretty good bite, but it's like sandpaper, but real gritty.
Mm-hmm.
So it can like scrape you up. It's not gonna hurt you, but
it's not teeth.
No,
it's not like putting your thumb inside of a fucking pit bull's mouth and like trying to hold it up. Like, hey, look I got. Look at my new dog.
Well, I mean, people catch catfish by sticking their whole hand in its mouth because they're hillbillies and they don't have fucking fishing poles.
That's how they eat for free.
You can still buy a fishing pole. You don't have to.
It spends money, costs money. This shit's free, bro. God gave them 2 lures. Don't lose them both.
And I will fist fuck this fucking catfish to death.
Oh, I'm sure that like the injuries around there, all like shoulder injuries.
Dude,
and
people
it's like fish kimuras and shit. Oh yeah, you get held under the water.
Well, not even just like fucking with the wrong thing, like sticking your hand in the wrong hole. They find a hole and they're like, I assume there's a catfish in here. And sometimes it's a snake or a fucking snapping turtle.
An underwater bear.
I mean, that's why they have underwater guns in underwater schools. Because those underwater bears might attack.
We went down.
Hey,
I lost track of the
underwater bears.
timeline of this made up narrative we're talking about.
You started it.
I did not start the fire. It was always burning. But yeah, what the fuck were we talking? Oh, bugs and shit. It's surprised. I mean, we are kind of more downtownish, but I would have expected more bugs. Just in general, but we are kind of more downtownish, so there's not a lot of.
I think
we're not like by a park.
We're still considered downtown, like this area.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. Things are. I mean, there's just houses, regular houses. They're close to each other, but
yeah.
That's why I say the ish.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if I guess we're by parks. I mean, I'm sure if we were right next to a park, maybe there'd be more insect livestock.
I don't think, man. I guess.
I mean, I don't know what Denver has as far as
I don't like
bugs.
the excuse.
I mean, like spiders and shit like that.
There was construction across the street, so
that makes 100%. Remember when they were
that's
doing?
More like mice and rats and shit, not fucking bugs. Unless that
well,
building,
but the
unless
bugs
that
are
building
coming
was
through the
fucking,
pipes. Is what they're coming through the sewer pipes, because they're coming out of the sink. That's why they put the screens, the whatever, because they're coming out of like the bath. The only two places I've seen them are on the counter, by the sink, on the counter somewhere. I've never seen them on the ground.
I have.
I've seen them on the ground in the bathroom.
I have that too.
But I've also seen them in the bathtub. So they're coming through the drains.
I think they're coming up through the walls, and because there's holes around.
I mean, there's holes anywhere.
The back
everywhere
valve
in the walls.
of the
they
toilet.
can come through all the electrical outlets. They can come through those. Like there's plenty of holes they can come through, but that's why you put the screens on them.
She said.
Because they're coming through the pipes, and that's probably why we're not getting them, because they're like gotta go. And I'm sure it's fucking way worser. I'm sure if we talked to somebody that lived in an apartment that was across the street from the construction, I would imagine they are getting the worst of it. Because that's I would imagine it's like the farther you go out from it, like a search in fucking The Fugitive. Like you gotta check every barn house, outhouse, apartment complex, sewer drain, dog butthole.
Has your dog been smuggling roaches in her butthole?
Aside from when I first got her, she picked up fleas, which that's a pain in the ass. But once I start giving her those fucking brewer's yeast pills, like no problem with anything ever. Aside from dry skin.
And being retarded.
And just whiny. Yeah, I mean there's mental problems, but there's no diet that can fix that.
No.
Not that anybody knows of. She's good. She's got a decent life.
For
but
being
no
mentally
bugs.
handicapped.
Not having she's like a pain in the ass on the leash. But other than that, pretty low maintenance. But whatever. I'm sure if like there was a yard or something where she was just out hanging out, she'd probably pick up some shit.
Probably. I don't know.
So I'm on a walk. I'm on like sidewalks and shit. It's not like I'm going through fields.
I don't think yards usually get fleas. You got to get it from something else.
Well, but other animals would bring the fleas into the yard. Because that's where she got it. Because I was walking in my place in San Diego. There was like raccoons and skunks in the area. And both of those carry a lot of fleas. So it was just, she would go through like ice plant. And or even the grass. I mean, the grass was like longer. I mean, I guess not. It's probably like ice plant that she picked it up.
Have you ever had lice?
When I was a kid, yeah.
You had lice?
Yeah.
I've never had lice.
I don't know if I don't know if I had it, but I remember doing the thing the shampoo thing. So it
I
may have been a fear
didn't
of
do the thing,
like my friend may
but
have
they always did the test in school. Like it's like once a year.
I think maybe
why
I
is
got
everything
lice.
once a year? It's just like what all do you remember getting tested for in school? Like I remember
a hearing test.
Hearing test. I remember.
Never really an eye test. It was hearing test.
I remember eye test.
I remember. I mean, they were like
scoliosis test.
I don't know. I don't remember any like. I don't really. There wasn't a lot of tests aside from like hearing tests.
We had a scoliosis test. We had a hearing test. We had a vision test.
Never had the vision test.
But these were all just like I feel like remembering them so random, like from earlier. And like the fucked up part about like the scoliosis test was like they always called me back for a second test, but then they go, "Yeah, you don't got scoliosis." And then I'm like, "What's up?" They're like, "Your back's just fucked up, but it's not scoliosis." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, so is that a diagnosis? Can I just write I'm back fucked up?"
Who knows?
Like,
I
what
mean,
what are we saying here?
It's probably a bunch of health services that the government did for children and it probably did okay and worked, versus now there's probably nothing. Now it's like, you just go. I mean, people don't even vaccinate their kids now. It's like a trend. It's trendy not to vaccinate your kids. It's weird. I have there's a few people, a few women from back in San Diego that, not that I've been with, but that have kids.
Yeah.
And they're uber non-vaccine, and they have multiple. Well, one has like multiple. She's like becoming a factory of a non-vaccine factory. And it's like, okay, but
here's what my.
But it's also, one of them is like chemtrails.
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of mentality. Like, I watched some YouTube videos, so I know some shit.
And that's what I run into too. But I also think that, like, just like everything else, like, there's probably a couple of those vaccines,
but like
that are just like a money grab for some fucking corporation. Which I don't know.
That's not where they're
making.
They're not. I mean,
but hey, no, it's just like the companies that do drug testing push excessively for like welfare people to get drug tested. And so far I've like read most of the stories on that shit. They found like 5 people in like the 6.
Well, the welfare
total.
thing is because they don't want to. They want an excuse not to pay people.
But I'm
welfare.
saying they literally find like one person each time they do that in an entire fucking state.
That's a state that doesn't want to help out poor people.
But how much does it cost
100%.
to do all those drug tests?
Yeah. Well, and what
millions
kind
of dollars, which gets funneled into
Not
what?
really.
Yes,
You can
absolutely.
Do,
no
weed tests are like
No,
over the counter.
But they do it. It's all to a corporation. It's not like you're giving a fucking over the.
Who do you think's making those bills? The people that have the businesses' dicks. So they're part of the business. Those are the people that are in charge.
I'm saying that's why those companies that do the drug testing.
That has nothing to do with vaccines. Vaccines are it's not a profitable business. They make profit off of all the other drugs they do that they come out with, like Viagra and Cialis,
no, I'm not talking
and all the
against
bullshit like
vaccines,
AIDS, all the AIDS drugs. Like they make a lot of money way later.
I'm not Eddie Bravo and all
that
vaccines.
Shit, but that's what those people are.
Yeah,
they're Eddie Bravos.
I know.
Eddie Bravo has a kid. Is that kid vaccinated? Let's put some money on it. I mean,
I
he
would
might
say
be.
yes.
He has
his
smart
wife.
friends.
His wife probably.
Well, I don't know his wife, but I thought she was just a former like stripper.
She can still be smart.
When you hear enough Deathsquad shows, you kind of hear they don't name names, but you know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, our friend that just had a kid. But she could be somebody else. But
no,
who knows?
I know people that are fucking crazy against that shit, and then like
it's whatever. I mean, it's your free country. You can treat your kids however you want to an extent. But there are things that we no longer have to deal
other
with.
people's kids when you don't vaccinate.
There are diseases that have been wiped out because of vaccines, and because you're not vaccinating your kids, those things can come back.
Yeah.
So it's like it's whatever. You can do what you're with your kids. It's weird because
I love this excuse. I hear this all the time. Well, if your kid's vaccinated, why should you care? And to that, I always have to remind these fucking dipshits
They don't
who
understand
already have
science.
kids.
They don't know
You
science.
don't inject your child immediately as it's born. They don't get some of these vaccinations until they're like 1, 2.
But that's not necessarily...
But I'm saying, so
like,
if you don't vaccinate your kid and he's carrying the fucking whatever, and then all of a sudden he's touching shit, and then I touch that shit at a grocery store, and then I touch my baby, like my baby is not immune to that shit the way I am.
They don't know science. Their science is based off of YouTube videos. And zero... Or Jenny McCarthy writing a book, who is not a scientist.
And you know,
she is a bad actress.
And you know what's fucked up?
So it's like...
It's
fucked up because people...
Her kid doesn't even have autism. It ended up being a neurological disorder that her kid had. So this whole time she was saying that...
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody should be listening to an actress on science.
She was a model, not an actress. That came later.
I only saw her as an actress.
She got an IMDb.
Whatever.
Playboy model.
Neither of those people are qualified to be giving medical advice. I don't care if you're a supermodel. I don't care if you're
Rob
a porn
Schneider
star.
is actively against vaccines.
I don't care if you're Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, who talks to brilliant people, is not qualified to give you medical advice.
No.
So stop watching YouTube videos and getting your brilliant fucking messages. It's insane because it's like there's those people, and then it's like the flat Earth people, and then it's like just your generic fucking
then
conspiracy
Alex,
theory stuff.
Jones people, then who are just like a blanket conspiracy people.
Yeah, they're just angry conspiracy.
Everything's a conspiracy.
The argument with Alex Jones, like, well, he's gotten a few things right. It's like, you know how much shit I've talked in my life where I've probably gotten some crazy things right? I've gotten some crazy things right.
It goes back to the stupid saying, a broken clock's right twice a day.
Exactly.
Like,
which I love that saying. I say that saying every time a manager actually got something right,
you're like,
I would be sure to point out that, hey, you know all the shit you do that makes everything worse? It's like, okay, good job. You did one good thing. It's people that do shitty want to pat themselves on the back for something.
Did you see what I did?
Yeah, look at what I can do. I watched a YouTube video. I'm educated on the inner workings of fucking science or climate
But YouTube is super awesome.
You can learn some shit.
Straight up.
You want to learn to kickflip? You can learn to kickflip from a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn how to be Tony Hawk from a YouTube video. That's the difference. All these people are like, I'm a PhD in science now.
This family,
because I watched a YouTube video,
built their own house that's like a huge house, all from watching YouTube tutorials.
Oh yeah.
Like the lady was like abused by her ex.
Yeah.
And like she took her kids and they fucking left, and then they decided like, hey, you know, we bought a piece of land.
Yeah.
We got a trailer there.
Yeah.
And then it took them like a year.
Oh yeah, you can learn how to do it.
And they fucking built an amazing house. Like I looked at it, I was like, God damn it!
I learned how to do 360 VR video editing from watching a YouTube video. I had the right software, and I'm used to using that shit. But it's not something
I've learned how to cook a lot of shit from YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's just like you want to learn anything.
I learned why I couldn't get the one bike pedal off my goddamn bicycle is because it was a righty loosey.
Bikes
son of a bitch. Yeah. Why was one? I understand that, but still,
yeah, I know.
Asshole.
I
almost bent the crank, like fucking trying to get that thing off.
Yeah, I think I probably damaged.
I fucked the bike up a little bit.
What are you gonna do? Fuck it. It's not like riding a bike.
And then
it's like building a bike.
I was freaking out, and I got on YouTube, and I was like, oh. And I went out there.
Although that was way before YouTube existed when I did that shit. That was like when I was a kid. Yeah. There was no way. I mean,
dude, I built bicycles as a kid. I don't know if it just didn't. I didn't remember. Like,
probably.
Me and my friends had it was weird. Like we all lived on the same street, and then my buddy had a shed behind his house, and we turned it into a bike shop. And then we would just go around town and like pick up discarded pieces of bicycle.
Right.
And like we had built up we probably built 7 or 8 full bicycles, and then had like a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Some of which like some shit was stripped, so it never really worked right. But, like we built some really nice bikes. Like,
right.
like BMX style, fucking had the pegs and the mags, and we learned by fucking just taking that shit apart.
Yeah, well,
and
bikes
putting
are
it back together.
Pretty basic.
It is
mechanics.
some like the bearings
There's
and
not a
shit.
whole
You
lot
have to
of-
fucking figure that shit. And as it like we were 13.
Yeah.
I mean, not even 13.
But that's not like you're not making bearings.
We were 11
Yeah.
in doing this.
Yeah. I used to take shit apart all the time. But bikes are pretty.
Bikes.
A lot of shit you take apart as a kid, not always easy to put back together.
No.
Where a bike, yeah, you could do that. That's something a kid can, on his own, figure out. I mean, it's pretty basic.
I mean,
overall. But most people,
there's stuff you have to figure out.
Yeah, but like for the most part, nobody's gonna fucking. Most people are so lazy they're not even gonna fucking look up a YouTube video to even see how to do some shit.
We didn't have
Like so many people are like, but they don't even like. They wouldn't even go that step. They're like, why would I build a bike? I don't even like. It's like. So they're so used to not ever figuring things out, learning things, and conquering a goal that they're like, why would I even try that? Like, I would just need to. Why would I? There's like no reason. Like, I don't know. I enjoy understanding how things work.
Yeah, so do I.
So,
but that I also got into an argument with these.
and usually it's not very complex. Most things,
no.
Most like computers, people freak out about computers. Computers are bicycles, like with desktop computers. I mean, laptops and phones, that's different shit. But a desktop computer is a fucking bicycle.
Yeah.
It's easier than a car, but because it's a computer, people freak the fuck out. And I used to build computers, and they're not. I mean, there's minutia where it's like, oh, well, technically it's a little bit more difficult than that, but it's a fucking like a bike, a frame, pedals, handlebars, a chain. Handlebars move on a little, out of the fucking neck. You got a gear on the back, a gear on the pedals. There's a chain linking them together. It's not like a car, which is probably slightly more complicated. I'm sure people that know cars are like, I mean, newer cars are different, but I'm sure like an older car is like that shit's basic as fuck too.
Yeah, you just unscrew
Computers,
shit
it's
and
a
you screw shit
motherboard,
back in.
and then everything connects to the motherboard, the processor, the RAM, the hard
people
drive.
are
and it's
overwhelmed
like,
by a lot of like
anything.
Cars are another thing. It's like this is the starter.
Yeah.
So I just unhook it and unscrew it, and then I put a new one in and I screw it back in.
Yeah.
And I plug it back in, and then that works.
I remember selling electronics as long as I did. There are people that will surprise the fuck out of you how retarded they are. No. Like completely, fully functioning mentally people, but just so used to not ever doing anything that like, if it doesn't say power button on it, if it doesn't like indicate clearly what the thing does, there's no like even attempt to try and understand something. It was like the most infuriating thing to like explain things that I've explained thousands of times and know exactly how to, I kind of have this basic way of explaining so most people understand.
Yeah.
Basic shit. And then they'll come in and it's just like the words, they can't even put the effort together to listen to the words that I'm saying and just understand these simple concepts that I'm saying. Like you understand a car and you can put people in a car and like a car has a trunk and like the bigger the trunk is, the more stuff it can fit. Like really basic concepts. They're like, whoa. I don't know. You gotta talk to me. Like,
yeah.
You gotta it's like, this is exactly what I'm doing. Like, I could go to a 7-year-old and just explain shit. Because I know I've done it thousands of times to thousands of different people. I've refined this shit. You are the exception of stupid people. You are the exception. You're on the fringe of stupidness. And when you help enough people, you run into, like, I mean, that level of stupidity, probably maybe 50 people. So it's not a lot. It's 50 people out of millions of people that I've probably explained shit to and
I
talked to.
experience people who can't order
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Food was
They just can't. They see a menu.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't.
Well, I would imagine there's a huge chunk of people that just don't even go and talk to anybody, and I mean they just don't even buy electronics.
Yeah.
Versus food, everybody's gonna get food, so you're gonna find all the.
Oh my god.
Everybody, you find out the assholes. You find out the, but they don't really have to. It's yeah, I don't know. People are stupid. Let's play some fucking.
Let's fight about movies.
Ultimate Movie Championship. The Ultimate Movie Championship brought to you by our Patreon page, patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. It's where you can donate to the show monthly, help out the show. Let's just say you donate $1 a month. That's only $12 a year that you're donating to this show, which gives you 2 episodes a week, plus a bunch of extra clips and shit.
That's 8 a month.
And we're going to start giving you a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's like about 100. Say we miss a few. 100 a year for $12. InspiredDisorder.com/Patreon or Patreon.com/InspiredDisorder.
Patreon.
Anyway, Ultimate Movie Championship, we go to FlickChart.com and to our own page, FlickChart.com/IDP. And that's where we're given 2 movies, and we choose which of the 2 is better and deserves to be on our list, our ultimate movie list. And we have to argue it, and if it goes to a decision, we go to the judges, which are Rotten Tomatoes, for a final decision. Yeah, let's just do ranking the movies.
What the shite is going on?
I forgot to sign in. Yes. Wonder. Bam. I'm glad it didn't show the password. All right. So starting off. Interesting. Have you seen Romeo Must Die?
Yes.
Romeo Must Die versus Shutter Island.
What do you mean have I seen it? DMX is in Romeo Must Die.
This was with Jet Li, right? This was like his first or second American movie.
Yeah. Aaliyah?
Horrible.
Aaliyah?
Horrible. Yeah, Aaliyah is the love interest.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not good. It's
Shutter
like,
Island.
But it's trying to come off of the popularity of Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan had Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights, Rush Hour.
And I like Jet Li.
I did too. I mean, his stuff that he did.
There's some
before
stuff that he did.
A lot of the stuff from the U.S. is horrible. He didn't really do anything.
I like
from
the
US.
one.
It was like
it was okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's not horrible, but it's not.
Kind of like the
it's not on my
Highlander,
top
but
list.
just with him.
Yeah, which Highlander's a great movie. I've only seen one Highlander movie.
Whatever
not
came out, great, but they're fun. They were fun for me in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, whichever one came out in like 2001 or 2000.
That was the one with Mario Van Peebles. Is
one
like
of the
bad
worst
guy.
movies.
It was terrible.
That one, I don't remember.
It was
if I
a
saw
preview
that.
for the movie The Crow.
I don't. It was
on the VHS.
It was 80s fucking bad special
Highlander
effects,
Armageddon.
like TV 80s special effects.
Here's what
so bad.
It's fucked up. The one with Mario Van Peebles, I can't remember which one it was, but the preview on the beginning of the Crow VHS gave the movie trailer, and then the movie when it actually came out under a different name. Like it was Highlander something something something, and then it came out as Highlander something something.
Right. Well, that other something wasn't worth it.
Well, guess not.
That shit happens.
Shutter Island.
Especially if it's like a subtitle.
Yeah, it must have been.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, versus Shutter Island. Which some people don't like Shutter Island. I like Shutter Island.
I don't dislike it, but it was one of those. I knew it.
It's not a super rewatchable movie.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I liked it. Titan AE versus Me, Myself, and Irene. Titan AE was one of the first movies that I had bootlegged when I started getting downloaded movies in like
2000.
But I don't remember it. I mean, it wasn't. It was like DVD rips.
Yeah.
Not like camera in theater.
Yeah. Regardless,
bootleg.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah,
wins
for
this.
sure.
Titan A.
I forget who was in Titan A. Ooh. 2 serious movies here.
I still hate this poster.
Yep.
Wayne's World, the
World.
original, not 3.
Yeah,
Why are you holding up a 3?
Maybe. I mean,
I don't remember
It's,
anything from the movie with the 3.
yeah, it's bad. Versus Charlie's Angels, the remake 2000.
Well, it's not a remake technically because
from the show.
yes, it's a
Yeah.
movie
It's
of a
movie
television.
version of it. It's what a lot of movies around that time, Starsky and Hutch, what was
The A-Team.
What A-Team, the fucking one with the Confederate flag car,
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, there was a
There was a lot of 90s.
lot of those.
That's how Hollywood works. Like, oh, you remember that thing from your childhood? Oh, well, just
that was
resell
all
it to you again.
2000s though.
Yeah,
Like I think this was like one of the first ones to.
it was early. It also really bit off a lot of the effects of the Matrix that had already been bit off by like every movie after the
Oh, with
Matrix
the
came out.
whole fight with Crispin Glover and the girls,
Which is still I enjoyed it. It's hot girls being ass kickers.
I guess
Lucy
Liu and Bill Murray
Mhm.
hated each other, and that's why like he didn't come back for the second one, and he was
They
replaced
didn't
with
even
Bernie
have
Mac.
scenes together.
But they fought like that's I've watched a lot of shit on that.
But they-
like
I
they
don't
both
understand
made,
how they would
made
fight
comments
when
about
they
it.
would never be working together.
Yeah, they did. He was Bosley.
He was the voice,
No.
but they were never in scenes
No, he
together.
wasn't the voice. He was Bosley. Bosley
Oh,
was
right.
which was
He's
later
the
taken by Bernie
butler.
Mac.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what probably happened? A lot of white people who invest in movies are like, we can't have a old white man as a butler. We need a black dude. 100%.
but I'm
That's
saying
part
that
of
was-
it too. Yeah. I mean, whatever. Lucy Liu's hot, so fuck Bill Murray.
Oh, don't even say
I
that.
love Bill Murray, but Lucy Liu's hot.
Lucy Liu doesn't give me anything
Wayne's
on that.
World,
Wayne's
for
World
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Bill Murray
Lucy
over
Liu's
Lucy
the
Liu all day.
hottest of everybody in that movie.
No, Cameron
Nobody
Diaz
is-
for
no,
sure.
Not even close.
For
Not even
sure.
Close. Bram Stoker's Dracula versus Shutter Island. Shutter Island.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Dracula? Like, for sure.
Dude, Where's My Car? Which I have not seen. John Hodgman. Ragnarok.
Which is just a comedy special. Which is cool that that came up, but I haven't seen it either.
Or One Man Show. Meet the Parents versus Dude, Where's My Car? Kind of a fitting matchup in a way. Same year, both mediocre comedies. One's a mediocre stoner teen comedy. The other one's a mediocre fucking,
Family
30s
comedy?
something. Yeah, family comedy. Kind of a further downstep for De Niro. Not the worst of his downsteps as far as the lighter movies that he's done. It wasn't too bad. I actually saw Dude, Where's My Car on my birthday.
I owned Dude, Where's My Car for a long time.
Oh yeah. I did too.
I've seen it multiple times.
I probably
it's fun.
I probably couldn't watch it now. Like knowing how like over the top corny cheesy it is, I don't know if that's a movie that I would enjoy watching.
But I think I gotta go Meet the Parents on this one.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's so weird. I don't like doing
If
that.
this happened like a few years ago,
Oh, would have been
probably.
totally Dude, Where's My Car?
But it's like, and that was that's been an episode thing too. I think that was actually
we've been Meet the Parents also.
That's true. Yep, that's right. Twofer. At some point, I'm going to run out of movies. Hasn't happened yet.
I don't think
Still
you
hasn't
can run
happened.
out of
It's
movies.
fucking it.
There's a lot of movies.
Yeah, but they don't all have people's faces in them. A lot of them do. A lot of the bad ones do. Yeah. I
Meet
think.
the Parents.
Yeah.
The Circle of Trust. The fucking.
It had some good scenes.
It had
Puff
Jinxie
the Magic
Cat.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? What's his name?
Greg.
Greg.
I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, that
I don't know
wins.
if I definitely didn't see the third one. The second one I didn't really like, even
Meet
though
the
they
Fockers?
added. was it Kathy Bates?
No, it was Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand. And who's the dude?
Dustin Hoffman.
Right. Which I enjoy the Hoff man. Wow, weird.
I know. I would never thought that.
I think on a different day we might choose differently.
I don't know.
I think it's just our bladders are so full that we just.
Yeah, I really got to piss.
Maybe this is gonna help it. Speaking of Lucy Liu, Kill Bill Volume 1 versus Being John Malkovich. I'm a big fan of both of these movies. First off, but yeah, definitely. I'm probably
Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah. I remember that people did not like Volume 1, but I bet a lot of those people actually like it now. They just want, for some reason, it seemed like
when you
it
don't
was
get
cool.
closure, it's a weird feel. Like it's like I like it, but
it wasn't as bad as like the Matrix, second Matrix, where it was just like a two-parter. Now they just do two-parters for everything.
But this was they just cut the movie in half.
This is like out of Tarantino movies.
Yeah,
that was the. I mean, the Grindhouse one, I can understand that because people just don't get what's going on there.
I got it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to do something very specific.
No, it's here's a way to describe it. I like it.
Yeah.
But I just like it the least out of all the Tarantino.
For sure. I mean, that's a very specific style they were going for.
It's like, what's your least favorite blowjob?
I don't like those kind of movies. I don't watch like the mystery science theater 2000, even though it's like commentary on shitty movies. I'm not a big fan of those movies in general, so I can't imagine liking a movie that was intended to be done in that style. Like, I'm not a big fan of horror movies, so if Tarantino does although I'd probably enjoy his horror movie more, but there'd be a lot
of dialogue.
Most likely the least favorite because I'm not a big horror fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, Kill Bill, I go with that for sure. Weird. So Dude, Where's My Car versus Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Which is the
first or the second one?
I think it's the second one.
Yeah. I'd almost go Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's a better movie.
It's like it is a better movie, and I'd probably enjoy watching it more today than I would because I haven't revisited. I didn't even finish the series. I liked the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, I never finished it, but I didn't
just
hate
they
them.
did too many. There's Harry Potter sequels, fucking the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels. Like everything's got to be sequels now. Yeah, Harry Potter. Batman Returns versus There's Something About Mary.
It's a sweet Batman poster.
Yeah, more Catwoman poster. I mean, it is Batman, but there's something
about Mary.
Yeah, for sure. She was the hottest one in that.
She's the hottest one in Charlie's Angels too.
Not even. She's the third hottest. I remember. Was it Christina Applegate? Was the third? No, who was it?
Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Drew Barrymore. Yeah, no.
She's hotter than Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it's true. Sister Act versus Scary Movie 3.
Sister Act?
Sister Act.
I never thought that would happen. Oh, shit.
I mean, maybe Scary Movie 1 for sure.
Yeah, but
not the third one. The third one, I think, is when it got taken over by the Leslie Nielsen people.
Yeah.
Like it was the
Wayans brothers.
The Wayans family movies, and then I think they went back to it on like the fourth one, and it's I don't know. But like those kinds of movies, the parody movies, I'm just not into anymore. Like
not anymore.
I can't imagine.
There were a couple that were all right.
Yeah. There was it's
not
gone
another
on
teen
runs.
It's
It's gone
with
on
Chris
runs.
Evans.
Yeah. If you've
that
seen,
was pretty funny.
You have to have seen all the movies.
Scary Movie
Because
1 was funny.
It's like Batman versus Superman. If you don't know the references, it's a pointless movie.
Yeah.
Like why are you even here? So you would have, but I don't watch all those teen movies anymore. In the time, I did.
In the time, where you knew all the references, you're like, oh,
yeah. Wow, Whoopi.
Yeah, Whoopi.
Oh, happy day. Armageddon versus South Park. Bigger, longer, and uncut.
South Park.
100%.
Yeah.
Even though the least funny South
Don't
Park
wanna
shit,
close my eyes. Don't
like
wanna
the
fall
show, South Park the
asleep.
show is way better than the movie.
Yeah.
Although the movie's good, The King of Kong. Have you seen that
Yes, I
documentary?
have
That's
seen-
interesting documentary.
It's a very interesting documentary. It's about fucking Donkey Kong.
Yeah. There's
The game, the video game.
It's a really good documentary. It's really entertaining. Versus the Incredible Hulk, which is Edward Norton, probably the best Hulk movie. Where
People
it's just
shit
the Hulk.
on. I liked this movie.
I did too. He trained
with Hickson.
And he brought in the philosophies of meditation and work in jiu-jitsu and all that kind of
Breath
stuff
training
into
and-
the character of how he starts to. It was great.
People shit on I don't know.
Although there were parts, there was like I think what's her name, the what's her face from
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, not great.
Good in
not
that.
that great. She's hit or miss in movies.
Yeah,
like
she was great in Lord of the Rings.
She's great as like a whimsical fairy person.
That works, but everything else, she's just too stiff. I'm gonna go Incredible Hulk.
I gotta go King of Kong. I like King of Kong.
It was fun, but I mean,
that's
movie,
the best Hulk movie, but I don't give a fuck about Hulk movies.
I don't give a fuck about.
That was
I don't give a fuck
That's
about
a great
Donkey
movie,
Kong.
though.
It's a fun documentary, but as a movie, like Incredible Hulk is better. Like as a movie,
they're not. There's first off, it's different genres. Documentary versus comic book movie, superhero movie. It's not anywhere near upper echelon. I mean, it's definitely one of the better superhero
nowhere
movies.
in King of Kong.
King of Kong's
anyone
one of the better
take
one of
a
the most
cop
entertaining
car,
documentaries.
rip it in half, and use it as boxing gloves
because
to beat
you're
the
not
shit
gonna
out of a
see
monster.
that in a documentary because it's
Why
not
not?
real, Keith.
Why not?
Documentaries are about real, unless it's reality unless it's this alternate reality bullshit, alternate truth, or alternate whatever bullshit. Like
That's a documentary
it's a
about
documentary about
video games.
So why would anybody be
that's
tearing a
augmented
comic book?
reality?
It's about real people playing fake things.
Well,
versus
none of the fake things in that ripped a car in half and punched the shit out of a giant green monster.
I mean, you got to talk about the guy that programmed King Kong.
All I'm saying,
it's not his
is
fault. He didn't know there was going to be some stupid.
I really
fucking
enjoyed
comparison.
where he fucking did that, and so for that reason,
It's not the first time we've seen a
Incredible
cop
Hulk.
car get torn in half.
And used
It's
his
not
boxing
even an
gloves.
original. That's not a good scene. That's
I like
probably
it.
the stupidest scene.
I love it.
In that movie.
I want some more of it.
Well, but that's because, like, I don't know, you're part Michael Bay. You like shitty special effects. I'm curious to go to the judges on this one. I'm fucking great. Documentary made the list. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'd way rather have a documentary on the list than like.
Neither of these is even getting close to.
Out of all the comic book movies that should be on the list, I don't think that should be on the list.
Over the
out of all the documentaries that we've even come across on this thing,
that's like the first
that's
one.
The best. Not even close.
Being one of
I think we've seen
total.
I think we've seen like one other one. But yeah, fuck it. I don't know.
I doubt they even
They've
rate the
done
King
like
of Kong on
a
here.
zillion Hulk movies. He's in all the fucking Avengers shit. He doesn't need to win. He's not Edward Norton's been in greater things too. But he was the best Hulk. What am I doing here?
The King of Kong. You might as well see if they've even rated it.
Should be. Wait.
Yeah, Fistful of Quarters. Holy shit.
That was a two, yeah.
Well, you got your wish.
97?
97.
Yeah, 97 for King of Kong versus, I mean, The Incredible Hulk may have been really well received. I'm sure it was really well received for
67.
67. That's right, bitch. Also, one of the weakest movies he was in.
Tim Roth?
Yep.
I thought he played
King
a
of
good
Kong.
Abomination.
Oh, didn't even know he was a character. Like an actual. All right. Let's just do a couple more. All right.
Yeah, I really want to pee.
Yeah. Wayne's World is back versus Casino.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I like Casino. It's really long, and it's
long.
not my favorite
Gangster
Scorsese movie.
I'd rather
with
watch
De Niro.
Goodfellas.
It is a really good movie.
It's a good movie. Sharon Stone.
But I gotta go Wayne's World.
I'll agree on that.
Wayne's World. Now, if we're doing the better movie thing, which I don't, it's all subjective.
Casino's a better movie.
Phenomenal movie. It's better than most of the movies we even come.
But it's also, I find that one a kind of hard rewatch.
It's just long. It's long. It's a lot of things happen.
I dig the simplicity of the Scissorhands poster.
Yeah. Edward Scissorhands versus Twister.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Wait. I guess this is the last one.
This is a perfect last one.
Matrix Reloaded, which is the first sequel. Versus Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, which was the first movie. This has just been a weird UMC because I want to go with the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm with you on that.
Between these two and the franchise, if this was any other
Pirates movie that
losing to
the Reloaded wins. But if it's Pirates versus the original Matrix wins hands down.
Yeah. That's why it's weird. It's
wow,
a weird matchup. Franchises got some weird love on this one. That's Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, it's just the urine. Ah! All right, that was it. Nope, nothing. Okay.
Overtaken.
Man. For sure, but hopefully that matchup will come back. I agree. Yeah, so that's it. UMC, another UMC in the bucket. Before we get out of here, get yourself a free audiobook with 30 days free of inspireddisorder.com/audible, AUDIBLE. Audible service is where you get everybody.
It says it right here.
If you want to get fucking a free audiobook and shit, get it through our code and then cancel.
Yeah.
That's how I got most of my audiobooks. Everybody does these Audible things. You sign up for your month, you get a free book, and there's some sales, so if you want to get buy a few, you can do that. But I usually just got the book, canceled the service, and then just kept my free book. So you can do that if you want. Or if you want to keep the service, I've also gone through times where I keep the service. I kind of come and go from it. But if you want to get a free audiobook on us, go through our link, inspireddisorder.com/audible. And you can also get healthy this new year with all the products from Onnit, inspireddisorder.com/Onnit, ONNIT. They sell supplements, workout equipment. They have a bunch of resources and things on their website. So if you want to learn how to work out properly, you can go to their website. Or if you don't want to learn, you can stay at home and just die alone.
Plus, they're a very ethical, good company.
Yeah, they really high quality everything. Everything's to the highest quality. So save some money on the supplements because they're high quality supplements and they are not cheap.
No.
But you can save 10% by using our code INSPIRED when you check out. Save 10% on all the supplements. And I mean, you could try and use it for all the other stuff. I don't know if they changed.
They'll tell you what's in their shit.
Yeah, and it's actually in their
shit. And
you
you can just make that shit. Like, they don't care.
Well, yeah, you can try and make it. Nobody makes shit.
But I'm saying
you can. Yes, you can.
But that's what type of company they are. They're not hiding what type of shit's in it. They put the best shit in it.
Well, they actually put their shit in it. Everybody says their shit, but a lot of them are just not even right. They're just
because
like
supplements aren't regulated.
Yeah. Well, we don't need regulations because we're going to the market. InspiredStore.com/Onnit. Inspired for 10% off your supplements, and that is how we roll with this. You can follow Keith at KeithSpurlock1 on Twitter. You follow myself at Ray Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show on YouTube.com/InspiredDisorder, and follow our Facebook page, Inspired Disorder Podcast on Facebook. That's it, everybody. Until the next episode.
Peace and chicken grease.
Oh, shit, slippery and yummy all at the same time.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast. Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.